The Joe Rogan Experience.
Yeah. Are you like? Do you think the rules are okay?
No.
What would you change?
I would definitely change the 12 to 6 elbow. That's one.
Yeah.
I always
That's
thought
the
that was
big
silly.
You know why that one's illegal, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So stupid.
I used to watch those the karate
breaking
things. Yeah.
demonstrations?
They used to come on late at night on ESPN when I was a kid. I used to watch those things all the time. I used to love them too. Even when I was fighting, I was still watching those things because it was entertainment.
Those things are so silly. Yeah.
Those they get so intense too, you know.
Yeah.
And
so
then,
the athletic commissions really thought that you couldn't do that to a person because you'd kill them. So they made that technique illegal. Yeah. Out of all the shit, like we have that power cube thing in the back where Ngannou registered that power punch. If you go out there and elbow that thing, you'd be shocked at how weak ass your elbow is. Especially a drop down elbow. Like it's just not that much power.
No. It's just, I mean, when they're breaking those boards, they're using that joint as a post, as a lever, exactly, and they're just putting their body weight behind it.
Yeah.
That's all it is. You can't necessarily do that when you're inside someone's guard.
Right. You don't want John
jump
Jones elbowing you in the face, period.
Exactly.
But it's no difference if John's hitting you with a downward elbow like he got disqualified for when he fought Matt Hamill, or if he's hitting you with a sideways elbow. He's just smashing you.
You know what? That downward elbow is going to cut a lot less unless it's the point on the top of the head.
That's true, right?
You know,
that's true. That's a very important point. Like that was always the argument against no gloves was that you'd cut people more.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean that skin getting pinched between bone at that speed, you know, it's just getting torn. It's not even really a cut.
But do you think that having wrapped up hands and having padded gloves, like, is that an unrealistic sort of thing? Because like if you're striking, like if you and a dude were just fighting, right? You're just fighting. Like there's no like, hey, this is a play fight or we're gonna have rules. This is just a fight. You and a guy are fighting. You can't just hit him with bare hands the way you can hit him with gloves on, with your wrist taped up. You know, you got to be very wary about punching him full blast in the forehead. You might shatter your hand. There's a lot of things you have to think about.
Yeah, but I guess as someone has done it and trained to try to knock someone out, you're not thinking about we're never throwing punches at your skull. Right. You know, we're aiming for these targets that are soft.
For sure.
So like when you're in a street fight, like those things don't turn off. Right. So as a fighter, that's not a concern to me in a street fight situation. When you bring that up, but I know it can happen. I mean, it happened in some of the early UFCs. Guys would break their hands on skulls.
That's what I'm saying. Is it unrealistic to put gloves on someone and tape their wrist up? When we don't give them any other advantage for striking in any other way. You don't let them cast up your ankles or do something where you protect your shins and make it easier for you to kick hard. Because if you had like some sort of spandex thing with a shin pad. Like the same sort of thickness of shin pad as you have on the knuckles, you would just be slamming into everything. Yeah. Elbows, arms, who gives a fuck? You wouldn't worry about it. Just slam it in there. Boom. It would change the game.
It would completely change the game, but it would slow it down a lot more. I mean, in MMA fights now, you look at a punch count for an MMA fight versus a boxing match. You know, of course they can only punch, so the punch count's higher, but your hands are getting hurt. You know, guys will lose fights simply because they can't continue going into the second round sometimes.
Will that be the case, or will they change their style?
It will definitely change the style, but without having the gloves and hand wraps and that stuff there is going to be those times when it's just going to not minimize, but bring the number down. Yeah. It's not going to stop it, though.
I agree. I mean, I think if I wanted to look at it in terms of just pure entertainment value, I'd say leave it the way it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Change downward elbows. Maybe add a couple other things.
Yeah, some things like I like the pride rules, man.
Yeah, pride rules aren't bad.
Pride rules, including with the judging, with the pride rules. Judge the whole fight.
Judge the whole fight. I agree with that.
I like that.
I agree with that, and I think more judges. You know, but I think that's a big one. I was talking about that with Pat Miletich the other day. We're saying like 5 judges or more. You know?
Yeah.
Like, why only 3?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I agree. With more judges, you'll get a little more diversity. Also, though, I think you got to change change the scoring criteria. I mean, we are using a boxing criteria, but like when you talk about wrestling, and when I see guys go, oh, he scores a takedown. When a guy goes down, he pops right back up. I'm like, it's not a takedown. It's not two.
Right. It's
you
not
know.
two. Yeah.
So like, why can't we implement some of the thing? Because we're taking aspects of all these different styles of fighting. Like the scoring system and the values for things should come from that to some degree.
Yeah, a takedown with immediate stand-up. Like if someone takes you down, you're right back up. That is not a whole lot different than you blocking a kick.
Yeah.
You know, does blocking a kick count? If you get your knee up and your elbow up and you catch one right here, are you counting that as something that got through?
Yeah.
Right?
No, you're not.
So
you know who does?
Who?
Greg Jackson. He's a great coach, man.
He counts that?
I think he does this psychological thing. I'm letting the cat out of the bag with this one. Because I'm in the cage with Isaac Valley Flag, and Isaac throws a kick, and I block it. And Greg's like, it's a great kick, Isaac. Great kick, Ike. That landed. And and I'm like, and then he does something else, and it doesn't affect me, but he's cheering him on like it does. And I'm like, is he doing that for the judges? Because I'm like, and I went back to the corner. I told Mike, I was like, Mike, he's cheering him on, getting the judges on his side. Mike's like, don't worry about that. This is what you need to do.
Yeah, you got to get that shit out of your head.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But if he's right there, like if you see where one corner is and then the other corner is, when the fight is not going on, they're over there by the stairs.
Yes.
The judge is right there.
Yep.
The judge is just a few feet over. And if they're like enthusiastic, like, yes, you got it, you got it, you got it. Those judges, a certain percent, let's say 30, don't know what the fuck they're watching. And so they're very susceptible.
Can we say a name? No, I'm just
No, let's not say any names because I know what we'd say. We'd all say the same name, unfortunately. Nice lady. Anyway, this fucking situation, there should be way better judges for sure.
Yeah.
I think guys who are former fighters, guys who are martial arts experts, guys who like really care about the sport. You have no shortage of them. You can go to any MMA school, any jiu-jitsu school, any kickboxing school.
Any website.
Any website all across the country, and you will find hundreds and hundreds of qualified candidates.
Yeah.
People that will tell you why that's a bad decision. People that will tell you why that doesn't work. People that tell you why this shouldn't mean anything. And we don't have that right now for no reason. There's like zero reason. It doesn't make any sense. It's not like, well, man, there's not enough money. Like, what? No, there's enough money for it. This is just crazy. This is no reason. It's not like, well, water's wet and that's just how it goes. No.
I think it would be a good thing also now that, like, the second generation, I have, like, in my head, I have this 3 generations of MMA, and that's where we are now, in the third, starting to move into the fourth. And I feel like with the first 2 generations being done, pretty much, like there's a lot of guys that are highly qualified to judge.
Way more.